Alright, let's do this, guys.
Get down here, Merc.
Chapter 1, the destruction of Mako Reactor 1.
Halt! Who goes there? You're up. You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
Don't think so. Not bad.
This is definitely an upgrade from the nice little polygons that was the original, that's for sure.
Who in the hell? Hands where I can see them.
Voice acting's pretty nice, too. I have played through most of this, but haven't completed the remake. So we'll see how far we can get before FF7 comes out.
Freeze! Move and we shoot!
Go ahead.
We'll have daily streams around this time. We'll see how the first few do.
Never in doubt.
I do try and change up my games a little bit, but this does okay. I think we might just stick to this one, and then all streams once 16 comes out will be 16 for a little while. I haven't decided how much of 16 or how long I'm going to go on it.
Yeah, what he said.
But we're definitely going to do the main story. We're also definitely going to try Final Fantasy mode, and we'll see what the arcade scoring is like once that comes out.
You're coming with us.
But I can see potential challenge runs coming. I think ideally, if I was to really push it, there'd be a challenge run for each icon. It's just developing the rules to have that be the case. I mean, it's already sort of in place in the Chronolith challenges, where you can only use one icon against a certain challenge. So I wonder how that plays out, expanding it to a full playthrough. I get the distinct feeling, based on watching combat videos already, that a no icon challenge is batshit crazy. I don't know if I have the insanity level to try that, though. But I guess that's also going to depend on how much I enjoy the game,
so what's
too.
Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now?
We'll see.
He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
I am hyped.
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he isn't a soldier anymore.
There
Still,
should be
he's
some,
a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
A couple of YouTube videos out this week, I think.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done,
I've already started
we're done.
writing the script for one of them. And I'll be going back to work on that after the stream.
Real joy to work with, though.
Real joy to look at, too.
Here we go.
So that'll be
Looks
a
how
good
people
time.
notice first.
The
You're not even reading the same book.
the next video incoming should be another top
Or even
10.
the same...
Give it a rest.
Top 10 FMVs.
come on. Nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer.
I don't know if I'm going to
know what I think.
Not interested.
Any FMVs here from the remake, but OG FF7 is certainly going to have a couple on that list.
Wedge.
Then I think the other video will probably be what I'm expecting from FF16.
Every last gill.
Or things I'd like to see in the story from it. We also
Get him, boy!
a few nights a week, I'm gonna try streaming like sports games or something to that effect. Something.
Hey!
Looks like you're next.
Chill.
Not bad.
My go-tos have been Rocket League and pinball. And I think with Rocket League, I'm gonna just try and comment my matches on why I'm doing what I'm doing, what I wish my teammates were doing a little more of, or not doing. I think there's some interesting strategy in that game, but it's a matter of executing it, I think. And as someone new to it, like, I just started playing it for the first time ever, I sort of wonder why there's so much zooming. Like, I get it's super flashy and cool, but at the same time, like, I think there's a lot more strategy to it.
This way.
And
not so fast.
When you
We've
go
got
zoom,
company.
zoom all the time, it changes how positions tend to be.
Think you could stop me? That's that. Here we go. See ya. Is that it?
And then the pinball game is just something me and Mrs. Pro like. It's kind of a nice little fun thing. Not too stressful until you start getting into the crazy multi-balls and actually wanting to get on the score. But it's good to just pass the time on. It's not too crazy or stressful or anything. It's just nice and chill, and it's, I think, the kind of game where you don't have to focus on it too much and you can just hang out and chat or whatever. I also get that it's not something like big that a lot of people are gonna like to watch, but if you want to, I think it's good for just having hangouts with other things and just chatting. Figuring out what makes sense to do in a stream as well, like what content people want to see. What do they like to watch? Big reactions? Are they watching the streamer's reactions? You know, big things like that.
Soldiers may attack on command, but I hear they make good guard dogs too.
I don't necessarily mind talking about
reactors.
controversial topics, but it's not something...
So how do we get to the bridge above Mako's storage?
I want to start the conversation on, per se.
Holding out
if I'm asked a question, I'll talk about
scared
it.
To bite the hand that
I don't want to be the one...
Or is he a loyal little doggy?
Hey, we're going to talk about...
Have it your way, Mutt. We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Controversial thing, or
different
this
reactor, different layout.
thing someone else said, and why or
like
why not it's a
I'll
thing.
Manage.
Right? Like, I don't mind talking about it. But,
In 3, 2... Damn, I'm good.
I don't think it's something that you're just like...
Who's there? Door!
Just slapping everyone in the head with it. I don't necessarily think that's the right approach to it.
It's
Especially
over.
if, like,
That's
people are coming into the chat just to, like, have a good time or whatnot. Them walking into, you know, a firestorm of stupid doesn't
He's
really
alone. We can take it.
help anyone. And how one approaches that is kind of a big deal. So I think our world is filled with
Then let's move.
all sorts of controversies,
Cut it out.
regardless of how sane or
It's a good
not
thing I know
sane they
someone
are.
who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do?
People as a whole are
And we're
starting
good.
to get a little bit...
Careful in there.
I don't know, it's
I
almost
got
like a
this place
waning strength. Like there's just no toleration for anything, and it doesn't matter what side of any table you're on. It's either you're for this thing or
So, you know
you're
Tifa, right?
completely
It's
against
not
it.
really my
There's
business,
no real
but are you guys
middle
close?
ground. Even though most things actually have a middle ground. There's not a lot of, like... It's either one end or the other kind of thing.
Cloud! Are you ignoring me?
And that's kind of a, like, it's a bit subjective, but, at the end of the day,
Tifa and I.
you can't really say everything is black and white. You get things, you try to hold on too much to things from the past, let's say. And sometimes that's damaging in and of itself.
These sewer rats appear to call
But-
themselves Avalanche, sir.
If you're going to destroy
We are currently investigating whether they belong
the
to the same
fabric
group
of your
that made the
culture?
attempt on your life. Rest assured, our inquiries will
doing
not
it
take
in a
much
way
longer.
that
This pump's sole
is
purpose is to
flagrantly
drain the planet dry.
recognizable.
While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako.
arms resistance.
It doesn't rest,
It's not
and it
something
doesn't
that
care.
you just
You do realize what Mako is, don't you?
do it.
Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds
Because
green
if you
like
do it
you
in
and
a
me
way
bleed
that-
red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer
Causes
me!
problems. You actually end up with
You gonna stand there and pretend you
Bit
can't
like
hear
what
the planet
Barrett's
crying
talking
out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
Say that again!
it's one of those.
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
It's one of those things where if you try to change someone's
Our lives are on the line
lifestyle radically and quickly,
You listening, Merc?
and they don't know how to handle that,
And that happens.
Well,
the
so much for having
reaction
Cloud
tends
do
to
all
be
the
far
fighting.
more
There are some places a sword
aggressive
just
in
can't reach.
response. There's no discourse. It's just one of those things that happens.
Just bear with them for me, would you?
Yeah.
Without a middle ground,
Should have asked for more money.
it's hard to really say one way or the other. It almost makes sense to say that both sides are just wrong.
Gonna throw your sword
And
out.
that's
Let the
kind
man
of
with
a-
the gun go to work. These tin cans ain't got nothing on me.
I mean, that's not really accurate either, but like,
Ooh, gotta love it. Suck on this.
it's almost like as close as you can get.
See ya. Now for the real show.
But yeah, like, I don't want to give any examples and then be like, hey, this is where I am on it, because, like, it sets its own tone. And there are places where it makes sense to say
Laser
something,
security system.
but then
Those things will hurt
there are
more
other
than
places
pride if
where
you're
it doesn't
careless.
make a lot of sense.
They'll cut
Sure.
you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was a lot more.
Then make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
It's probably closer to.
Just keep those baby blues
It
of
has to
yours
be
on me.
one way or the other. It's not something that you can just. It has to be this way, and that really takes away from the whole. Life has varying circumstances. People change or have the ability to change. That completely gets forgotten.
You're doing good.
So, you know, without being able to recognize that ability to change, it's hard to be like, hey, what are you doing? I mean, that said, there's definitely
They don't call those
some
things
screwy
sweepers for
things
nothing.
going on
They
in
can
this
wipe out a
world.
whole
So
squad in
it's not
seconds.
like
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
I won't admit that.
We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening. Need a light?
Hey, it's not moving.
Let's pin it down. Give it all you got. Let's get this over with.
He just had to get back up.
Can we knock it down again? No time to complain. Now. Now's our chance. Go.
Don't need to tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy this.
Calling fire.
What are you, 20-something?
First. Huh? Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
What the hell are you talking about?
So one of the things that I was sort of talking about there is
No, for all I know, soldier's rank.
before I started streaming,
Guess that makes you a 1-year-old.
worked at a grocery store for 7 years, and our minimum wage when I started was like $11.50 or 11 something, I think. But it was enough to split rent
That's our target.
as
The
a
reactor core.
part-timer.
Gotta set the bomb at the bottom.
7 years later, and all the experience that comes with that, as well as getting promoted a bit, and even like going to a new place to work.
I can practically taste here. Turn it up.
What was kind of becoming clear was
Oh, it's pounding like a jackhammer.
Scared, huh?
More like excited.
the money wasn't
Dreaming
worth
about this for years.
having to deal with the attitudes of people in general, as well as the corporate nonsense that is attached. And so that was kind of like my what am I doing kind of thing.
That's that. Enough.
And I get the response of, well, just suck it up and do it. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you're trying to make it so that people can get the things that they want when they come in to shop, and all you get is heat, and them screaming at you, cursing at you, in some cases getting violent, and the corporate response is, well, there's no tolerance for that stuff, for customers doing that, but there's no actual way to enforce it. You're kind of just like, what are you guys doing? Like,
Must have missed it.
do you have a clue? And a lot of the business practices that may have started in like a sale only place. So what I mean by that is,
Let's do this.
Let's say there was like a dollar ad or something like that. You know, you buy like 3 for $1, right?
All right.
Well,
Let's see if
instead
Little
of
Stamp really
that
can bite
being
the hand
somewhat
that feeds.
exclusive to a
Go
sale,
on. Do the honors.
now it's
Prove to me you're the man Tifa says
buy
you are.
2 of this
that you're
thing
one of us.
Never said I
for,
was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
say, $10. We'll pick your item that you
Then
think
do the damn
makes
job.
sense at that price. But the caveat is that if you only buy one, it ends up being, say, $5.99 or $6.49. And what it ends up being when you're on a lower income, and I'm sure this is definitely the case in other places around the world, where you don't actually make enough to...
I'm fine. What about the timer?
To
You're calm, Merc.
actively live your life. You're beholden to...
That long enough for you?
I have to go spend X amount of time working, and it's usually like...
You double-crossing!
It says 40. It's not.
Heads up!
What in the hell?
You're beholden to spending more of your life.
How do we fight this thing?
It's got reinforced armor plating, but the internals can be overloaded.
Then
Lightning magic.
good.
No other option, huh? Fuck on this!
Shit!
Should I be worried?
And it's kind of a shame, really. Like, the idea that, like,
Win this one for the planet. We barely scratched
I think one of the biggest things about
Didn't I tell you to use
the
magic?
grocery industry as a whole is that
Got anything you want to say? Funny way to ask for help.
it relies on unpaid overtime, particularly on those who are salaried. And it's not... There were times I'd actively wonder
No holding back.
if the industry itself, in its current form, could even survive the idea that if someone's there 50 hours a week or whatever, that they're actually paid 50 hours, it was something that I honestly was like, I don't think it actually would work. Because there's already the screaming of the whole...
We gonna let this thing keep pushing us around? I don't think so.
Always cutting back labor and trying to save them and whatnot, and it doesn't work. Like...
The hell is that?
A barrier? Never seen this defense system before.
Thought you were the expert.
So what's your brilliant plan, genius?
It's my time to shine.
Or go down in flames.
God damn it! This thing is tough!
It wouldn't be much of a weapon if it went down easy.
Don't compliment the giant scorpion! If we don't change it up soon, this thing's gonna kill us both!
Less talking, more shooting.
How about less bit from you?
So, like, when I left, I'd just taken a spot that would have been about 10 grand a year more than what I'd previously been making, which
If I heal up.
sounds nice,
Want some more?
but
Oh yeah, baby!
Now's our chance. Give it
the
everything
big
you've
thing
got.
about it is, instead of it being maybe the 40 hours I was doing, plus doing some of my other stuff, my computer stuff that I had to do,
I ain't going down fighting a goddamn scorpion!
you know, it became one of these...
Enough with all
If I'm spending, say, my 40 hours and then all of my lunchtime doing computer stuff, then it was going to morph to something like,
You think I care about a few cuts and bruises? 'Cause I don't.
some week, particularly around the holidays, instead of having 2 days off, I'd have one. And then I get a day owed later on down the road. But the thing is, when you're tired and exhausted to begin with, having to work a 50-hour week
Getting woozy. Need to back
doesn't
myself
work.
up,
You're not
ASAP.
actually being productive.
Always did like a challenge.
Like, there's so much less productivity to it. And yet, that ends up being the expectation. Like, okay, I'm owed a day later on down the road.
If I heal up.
But, like, that doesn't actually help.
We gonna let this thing keep pushing us around? I don't think so.
I think that's the kind of thing that's forgotten. Like, if you're doing something that's taking you
Cause I don't.
away for let's say you've got a 40-hour job, but it's taking you away from that for like between travel time and overtime and whatever the hell else other stupidity comes attached to it.
You stubborn piece of shit.
If you're spending closer to 60 to 70 hours a week doing that, you sacrifice so much more than you openly realize you do, and how you cope with that is a big thing. Like,
Think I care about a few cuts and bruises? Cause I don't.
as strange as this may be to say, I think some of the corporate practices that have been put in place over the last 30 years as we've had this illusion of jobs increasing and there being different rules attached. I think that's actually led to the increase in things like divorce rates. I know that sounds a little weird, but like,
Now, hit it hard and fast.
Oh, you're in for it now!
like, I think there's so much more going on with things like divorce and family relations due to our approach to things like work and how it's valued or not valued. There's a certain point where, like,
Watch the tail. You don't want to be hit by that laser.
you keep being asked to do things that
Don't get hit. Take cover behind
don't
that
make
debris.
sense, and maybe you really like what you do, but there's a certain point where it's like, is that actually worth it? Like, as much as you like doing that,
Come on.
is it helping you or hindering you?
Need to do something about these wounds. Try it.
And I think that's kind of forgotten about.
Gotta memorize the attack patterns. Let's get this over. No holding back.
Like, it's not...
Alright. That'll do. Let's do this. Alright.
Like, why are we beholding ourselves to...
Heal up and
some of the
regroup.
things that we are? The things that we value. We're like... I really get the argument that, like... people are all worth something, and
Need to
yet
do something about these wounds.
the companies that are making money hand over fist really seem to have this attitude that, like, people are expendable, like, they're not a valuable part of
What's it doing now?
An auto repair unit. Damn it.
what they're doing.
Get
Like,
out quickly and screw.
Oh, I am way ahead of you, Murphy.
Gotta time our attacks just right. Hold out until you spot an opening. Gotta be careful. It's down. Rain hell on it.
Ain't gotta tell me twice.
Get ready.
and I think that's, you know,
Damn it.
it's
to
a
heal
real
up some.
problem. Like, why should anyone
Gotta heal up when I have
go to a place on a daily basis where
Now's our chance to do some real damage. It's not gonna go down easy.
they
Focus.
just feel used and abused, whether it's from the people signing their paychecks or the people that they work with, or, you know, those that come in and shop. And at the end of the day, like, you don't feel valued, find something else. Like,
Shit, the bomb!
realistically speaking, I'd rather struggle at trying to stream and get that working and try to do my own thing
You hear that? Damn
and
thing
get
showed
to
you how
know
it's
people
done.
while doing it,
Come on, we've gotta move.
then go through the same
Where did we go on our way out?
kind of nonsense that I've been going through for the last 7 years. Like, it's just... And I know some of you can say, hey, what about internet fights and dealing with trolls and whatever? It's like, that's still far more tolerable than having some goof who hasn't showered in a month start screaming at me because he decided to show up on the last day of the sale and wants a certain item, but because we've already sold 300 cases of it, we're sold out.
Nothing to it.
You've had a week. What are you doing? Like, why should anyone have to tolerate that? Like, I get the whole you should order enough for the sale kind of thing, right? Here's the deal with that. It's not as straightforward as you think. It's not like you're gonna have the same consistent people coming in
Do I look okay?
all the time.
Help a girl out, would you?
It's not like you can just be
My
like,
hero.
Hey, we'll link up over there. Look after Jesse.
people's buying patterns change. People shop at different places because
Come
of
this
their
way.
experiences at those places
This route should lead us straight to Barry.
and the things that they may or may not have on sale. And yet there's an expectation that I'm supposed to mind read everything. Like, there's making educated guesses, which is fine, And I get that. But realistically, it's not feasible to have the expectations that those in charge of ordering things are going to get it right every single time.
Shut up and climb. You're not helping.
Sorry, it keeps me focused. I'll freak out if I don't talk.
Have it your way.
And I think that was one of the bigger things. And it's not like to say I wasn't good at what I was doing. I was actually pretty good at it. It's just...
I've got you covered! Find us a way out of here!
But then...
After a while, you kind of...
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
Get this feeling that it's not worth it anymore.
Soldier Boy.
They're here!
And that really kind of became clear
Cool. 5 seconds is all we need.
during COVID. How little some people were appreciated for the work they did. Particularly from the companies as a whole. So, this little bit will tie back to the COVID thing in a sec. But, about a few months before I left where I was originally working, we started going for like a new contract, and what ended up being settled on was less than the hero pay that people had been given during the beginning parts of the pandemic. And let's keep this kind of real here. It lasted a couple of years. And in the second year, hell, probably even before the end of the first year, the hero pay that people have been given for doing the working during it was being clawed back. Even though the grocery business was making money hand over fist over hand over fist over foot. Like, they can afford to pay people more at any given moment. And as much as they want to argue that they're not necessarily making a lot of money on groceries per se, it's why they've also all diversified their portfolios.
No time to celebrate.
Here's the sad reality. The only reason they make those kinds of claims is because they actually have sales. If they sold everything at the same price and never had it on sale, the amount of money that they would make is honestly just bafflingly stupid. A good example is a lot of frozen food. I was a frozen food manager. At least here, some of those nice big ass lasagnas that people like to buy, and I'm talking like the big hot ones, the beefier ones. It might cost. I mean, the prices have gone up since because, you know, inflation and greed and greedflation in particular.
This is some bullshit right here.
You know, they're making like
Get ready.
$4 or $5 on each of these damn, depending on which one it is.
You don't look so good. Take care of those wounds before you bleed out.
And like things like the size, let's say.
See ya. Right.
Like a 1 kilo meat lasagna, they could sell those things at a regular price of like $9.99, let's say.
That's that.
If it was a meat one, they'd be making $5 on each of them.
That's that. Let's finish this.
Like, that's each.
Keep it together.
That's not $5 a case. There's 12 of those damn things in a case. So this idea that, like, they can't make money or don't know, like, it's all very ha-ha funny. Like, they could actively give, at least some of the companies, could actively give, like, a $4 an hour raise to everybody working in a store and leave their office people at the same rate, and they would earn themselves goodwill. Only goodwill. And their profits would not dip all that much, realistically. But unfortunately, like many of the corporations that are around today, they have this tendency to shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly and wonder, like, why people are frustrated with them. When I left, I sat down and did some writing about my time and about the business as a whole. And the head of the company I worked for was Galen Weston. And for those who have watched any kind of professional wrestling, you have heels and faces. And this guy was one of those dudes that was like, he's very clearly like the face of the company, right? Like, he wants to be the thing, or he is the thing, and he's the one that you always see speaking. Faces are supposed to be like the good guy or whatever. The reality of it is,
if I couldn't,
this guy had something.
Be the first to know.
He had heat, which is when the fans basically don't like the dude. You can have heel heat, which is actually good, because it means you're doing your role as the villain and you're portraying well. When you have something called go away, which this guy does,
that was pretty cool. All right, come on.
It's one of those, I don't want to see you. You need to just go away. Out of sight, out of mind. We don't want you talking. We don't want to see you on our commercials. We don't want to see you on our screens. We don't want to know you basically exist. That's the kind of thing this guy has. And him and his social media goon squad of idiots are basically like, hey, we're going to keep putting our foot in our mouths and pissing everyone off. But we're going to keep charging you more while we do it. And because we have
but a few scratches
not a monopoly per se, but
think you might overdo
you're in an essential
Followed
need
the instructions
business.
to the letter.
Maybe it triggered a reaction with the Mako?
Well, let's hope the city's still in one piece.
But the planet's what
You know-
matters, right?
We can almost basically just do whatever the hell we want.
This must have helped some.
After all that,
And there's a
it
problem
better
with
have. Anyway, let's get going. We in Sector 8?
That'd be just down there.
If you want to be
All right, then. Lead the way.
in a business or a field that has essential
Watch out for
needs
live
and
wires. They're
whatnot
everywhere.
attached to it, you're sort of accepting responsibility for the survival of
reeks.
others, and that
Can't
being
wait
a
to get
thing.
out in the open.
So when you kind of are like, you know what?
Man, what is that?
Too bad
Never
you
smelled anything
can't
so
eat
foul.
today.
Oh, it's me. Gotta do something about that. And
It
soon.
kind of comes off as being a little bit like you've jumped the shark a little. Like when you're literally pricing out people on
felt
limited
that one in my
incomes,
guts.
and
They just keep on
there's a
coming.
number of reasons
We
why
need to
people
get
are
out
on
of this
limited
place.
incomes.
Was it the Mako density?
You know,
The
whether
primary
they're
explosive?
disabled
blasting
because of a
agent?
workplace
Hey, you can
accident,
figure that out
or
later.
I'm running on empty.
they're like
You can
80 or
refuel at the
90 and
base.
can't work
Next
anymore
time I'll have
because,
to bring
well,
you a pick-me-up.
they just spent the last 65 years working. They're old. It's nothing against an old person. It's just they've
How much
done their
further do we have to
time.
go?
They've done their
Not
thing.
far.
Like, they're still living. But they just don't have it anymore.
That's
It's
about
not
as
their
good a
fault.
place
It's just
as any.
the way our bodies
Stand
are
back then.
engineered,
I'll
right?
set the bomb.
And all of a sudden,
Can't wait to
it's
see you, Marlene.
having some
Can't wait
dude
to
running
take
a
a hot
company
shower.
who's half your age telling you, you know what? That, $1,000 a month that you get for old age pension or whatever it is that's to pay your rent and food. Well, I'm just gonna make it so that you have to pick one of the two. It's not like you're gonna have an option for doing both. You're done,
She's good
right?
to go.
Like there's a sense of
Fire in the hole!
complete irresponsibility. And honestly, I'm glad there's options for going to shop at different places. But the reality
Let that
is,
be a
like,
lesson to anything that gets in
as
my
much
way.
as they want to come out and say they're not working with each other, they've more or less got a thing called co-opetition going on.
Attention all citizens.
I'll tie that back
Attention all
into
citizens.
the COVID
This is
thing
an alert
again.
from the Shinra Emergency Operations Center.
When one company said that they were done
Detonated a bomb inside
with the
Mako
hero
Gas
pay,
One.
the others were lockstep in tow within like 24 hours.
In response, a disaster warning has been issued in
Like,
Sector
these guys
7 and 8. Structures in the area
don't
are
do
at high
things
risk of collapse,
uncoordinated
rendering the
from
entire
each
sector
other.
hazardous. Therefore, all residents
There's a reason why the prices are
No way.
so close to each other regardless of where you go.
But what if it was?
Yes, the
What's done
vendors
is
will
done.
charge a certain amount or
Merc's
whatever.
right. It ain't pretty,
But there are
we can't
contracts
stop
that
now.
exist
This was just the
that
first
state that
reactor,
certain
and the planet
items
won't
have to
be
be
safe
priced
till
a
we get the
certain
rest.
way by the
Yeah.
company. And
We always knew this was gonna
that's
get
that.
messy.
And this is only the beginning.
And when you have a sale, it's basically
Y'all
like a
gotta look at the
negotiation
bigger
to get
picture here.
X number of products,
Nothing
you
worth
sell enough
fighting for was
volume,
ever
and
won without sacrifice.
both parties go
Though
home
you
happy.
may not be crying out, I know you're in pain, just like the planet. But it's okay, cause I'm here for you.
It's
to
just
help
one
take
of
the
those
load
things
off your
that-
shoulders.
When you sit and
Your
think about it,
fears, your worries, your concerns,
there's a problem.
And yes, your feelings.
There's a kind of
Whatever your
intuition
problem, I
involved
got you.
here where you
So,
feel in your
what's our
gut
next move, boss?
That's easy enough. We get our asses home.
that it's all rigged in some way. And then you can kind of see examples of where that might be the case. And you wish it could be different somehow. And it's just... it's kind of a sad joke, really, that, like...
We'll split up and shoot for the last train home. Regroup in the freight car. Got it?
Later, then.
It should be different than it is, and I think a lot of the social unrest that's been going on...
I'd like my money now.
You can have it once we're back at base.
The average person is being pushed in ways that they don't accept anymore.
I don't need to tell you what this is, right?
They're just choosing to do things differently, and at a certain point, we have to
You can have it.
be
For
real
saving
about
my
it.
life.
Like,
Just doing my job. Nothing more.
the way things have been done for a while, just
Fact is, I'm lucky you were there.
it's not working anymore.
Survival can be a matter of luck or skill. And you can't rely on luck.
Words to live by.
Yeah, well, thanks.
You do know how to use it, right?
You
And
do know what
at
I
a
was,
certain point,
right?
I think we all have to kind of wake up to that. There's a lot of change probably on the horizon, and like, how do we handle that? Do we want the people who have been making those decisions for the last little while to continue making that decision? Or do we do something else? Like, but yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of just look at it for a little bit, you think for a while. Is this really the way we want to go with things?
Just remember to use it, huh? Well, see you on the train.
Anyway, that was kind of a long-winded thing. It was maybe a little too real world? Maybe a little.
Multiple explosions have been confirmed, as well as ongoing fire.
What the hell are we supposed to do?
A disaster warning.
So the game plan for
Structures in the area are at high points of threat, rendering the entire sector.
the 7 Remake series is do 1 to 2 hours on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
You may alternatively contact Destroyed headquarters. I repeat.
Up until FF7 releases.
Unidentified intruders have detonated a bomb inside Mako reactor wall.
For those who are interested in 16, but don't want any spoilers yet, I won't stream the demo, but I will be playing the demo off stream a lot. Because apparently the beginning transfers in. So you save it, it can transfer into the full game. So I think this will be kind of a regular thing. There's probably going to be a short late night stream tonight. 10 o'clock or so. Mrs. Crow will be around for it, I think. Or at least she'll be hovering in the background. So if you want to chat with her, that's cool. Tomorrow will be a GTA Online stream. I'm pretty new to the GTA Online as well. Now, I've played a lot of offline, so I do have that, but online seems to be kind of its own little fun niche. So we're going to give that a bit of a try. And that'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or Wednesdays and Fridays. And I'm thinking the days that I have the GTA stream will also be my big, like, writing script time, as well as recording videos. So you might see me on stream at, like, random times on those days. I'm actually just... The way I'm filming my videos right now is through my PS5. So I'm just doing like a voiceover with some gameplay or whatever, and like a still spot where I'm not getting ambushed by something. So you might see me on stream. I'll be recording a video, trying to. If anyone shows up, then I guess that goes out the window, and that's okay. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for now. As you can see, Cloud here is... not entirely sad about what he just did, so... that's kind of interesting. But anyway, have a good day, everyone, and